Hello Year 7s and welcome back to another video tutorial to do with our microbits. So in this video we are going to be going through the first microbit tutorial activity, and we are going to learn about the basics of coding, and then we're going to look at how we can put the code onto the microbit to make it work. So to start off, you're going to want to make sure you're on style, and you are going to want to find this. It is our first tutorial. It is the microbit tutorial 1, flashing heart. Now, if we have a look and we scroll down, what it asks us, it's going to ask us to do two things. We need to keep this in mind while we are doing the coding. We are going to want to upload a snip or a screenshot of the code that we create. And then it also asks us to upload what is called a hex file. Now, I'll explain a little bit more about a hex file in a moment. So we'll hold on for that for a second. To start with, you'll see this link. It says follow this link. In the last video, I briefly mentioned it at the end. This is where we are going to be doing the coding. So if we click the link, it's going to take us to this website. Now, if we have a look, there are a few things that appear on the website. So it has a place that says My Projects and a button that says New Project. We're not clicking that. There's tutorials, other videos, games, activities. This is something that we can look at a bit later. But for now, we're going to be sticking with what is here, the tutorial section. And we're going to click this first one where it says New, Start Here. And it's the flashing heart. That is what we're going to do. So if we click on it, it's going to have 3 different tutorials that we can pick. We are going to be focusing on the blocks tutorial. Now, I want everyone to do the blocks tutorial. For an extra challenge, if anyone wants to try do either Python coding or JavaScript coding, then you can. So that'll be all text-based and not the blocks that we use. It'll become a little more clear what I'm talking about in a moment. So what I want you to do is, where it says blocks, I want you to click that. Now, with these tutorials, it has the steps that you need to do to put the code to create it and make it work. And it always starts with the example or what it's going to look like. So as you see here, we have this flashing heart. Now, this is what we are going to make our microbit do. So on our screen, what we are going to do is we are going to make the flashing heart appear on our LEDs, just like it is here. So we're going to learn how to use the LEDs and make a flashing heart. We're going to click OK. Now, on the left here, you will see a microbit. This is a digital one. Before we put any code onto our own microbit, this will be a place where we can test it. So when we have a look later, I'll show you. We then have here where it says basics. Now, as we go through the activities, there'll be more things that become available, but this is where all our blocks of code are. Now, when I say blocks, it'll be these kinds of things. So as you can see, all the blocks have a little indent at the top and at the bottom. So basically what that is how we connect them. They're almost like Lego pieces. So we're connecting them like Lego. What we're going to do is it asks us at the top, every time we do a step, it tells us what we want. So, and it's also all color coded, which can help you identify it. So it says, place the show LEDs block in the forever block and draw a heart. So if we have a look here, we have 2 blocks. So we have on start, which means when we turn on the microbit, and then we have our forever block. So based on what it asks us here, we know we want to put something in here. So We don't have to worry about the onStart block. We'll move it to the side and just worry about this, our forever block. So if we go to the basics section, we know that's where we have to go because it is the only thing, but also it's the colors. So we know that with these blue colors, that means we have to go to the basic. So it asks us to place the show LEDs. Here we have our show LEDs block. We're going to click and hold, and we're going to drag it into here. So now, as you can see, as we hover over forever, it widens and it lights up. So if we let go, it's going to slot into there. So now we know that whatever we put in here, it's going to appear on here. So as you can see, this square, it's the same amount of LEDs, lights. So it asks us to draw a heart. If you ever need help or are unsure, there is this hint button. So it's towards the top right. If we click it, it shows us what it wants us to do. And then if we have a look, it's actually showing us how we want to draw the heart. So if we do that, we can then draw the heart. So with this, we've drawn the heart. And as you can see here on the left, on our digital microbit, that's what's appeared. So it's just going to stay there because we've put it in the forever block. Now you can choose to keep it like this, or if you want, you can fill in the whole heart. So when you fill it in, I think it's up to you what you want to do. So for now, I'll just keep it empty, just like it has for the image. If we go next, it then asks us to place another show LED block. And this one, it's saying we can leave blank, or we can draw what we want. For now, I'm just going to keep it blank. So here we go. We have two blocks, and as you can see, there we go, it's flashing. So it's got our block here, and then it's showing this one. We're done with that. We can move on to the next thing. So look, it says here, look at the virtual microbit, which is on the left. You should see the heart and your drawing blink on the screen. So if I were to draw the heart again, if you click and hold, it'll just keep going over. Stuffed up, let's click that. So if we have a look, it's done that. I'm just gonna empty this, make it blank again. Now, here, it's at the end. If we have a look up the top, there are 5 steps. We're at step 5. When we're at the end, it asks us, if you have a microbit connected, click download to transfer your code and watch the heart flash. Now, if we have a look at the screen, down the bottom, there is a download button. When we click that, it is going to download the code into a file, which we will then put on the microbit. So, what I want you to do, follow along. I'll go slow so that you can, and if you need to, you can always just go back in the video. So, we have our code. When we click download, it is going to, as you can see, depending on what browser you're using, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Opera, whatever browser, it'll come up that it's downloaded. If we have a look closely, we can see that it is titled microbit flashing heart.hex. So if we remember before on our style page, it asks us for a hex file. This is the file that we want. This is also the file that we put on our microbit. So what you're going to do is, I want you all to grab your microbit. You are going to grab your cord that you have. Now mine's wound up. Just going to unravel it. So we have, we have the USB end, which is going to go into our computer. The other end is going to go into the top of the microbit. So if you grab your microbit, there we go. Up at the top, you'll see this middle slot. that is where this is going to go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slot it in. Now, it will stick out a little bit if we have a look. Just at the bottom, it's sticking out just a tiny bit. So that's okay. Once it pushes in and clicks in, if it doesn't push anymore, that's all you have to do. You don't have to push it more, you don't have to push it less. It'll just fit in. You're then going to take your other end and you're going to plug it into your computer. I've wrapped my cord around my microphone. There we go. So I'm going to plug it into my computer. Let me just remove that. There we go. So I'm going to plug it in. Now, when you plug it in, so you should, as you can see on my screen, a window has automatically opened. Now, if yours doesn't open, what you're going to do is you're going to open up your File Explorer. And when you do, I want you to go to this PC. Here is where you will find your microbit. Now, it will either appear here in this PC, or as you can see, I have two that appear on the side. They're both the same. They're all the same. It's not different ones. So that's where it's going to be. If you're here, what we're going to do is we want to locate our downloads. So if we go to our downloads, we should see that here we have our hex file. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to right click on it and we're going to want to copy. Now I have a different version of Windows, so it's going to come up a little bit different, but you should be able to find, here we go, this is what should pop up. What you're going to do, you're going to want to copy. So you can either right click and press copy, or on your keyboard press Ctrl C, whatever one works for you. So press copy. We're then going to go back to our microbit, and in the blank space here, we're going to right click again, and then or you can press Ctrl V, and you're going to paste. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up my microbit. So at the moment, you can see, if we have a look at the back, because it's plugged into our computer, let me change my camera. Because it's plugged in to the computer, there are little lights. So that basically means it's on. Now, once we paste, what's going to happen is the lights are going to turn off. You are also going to get on your screen this little box. So it's moving that file onto the microbit. Now, if we have a look, once it's done, oh, that was me, my apologies. It just closed and opened. But as you can see, now that it's closed and open, the file is not there. But if we have a look at our microbit, it's flashing. Now it looks a bit funny on my screen because of my camera, but the HUD is flashing. So that's it. You've done your first program. So now what you're going to do is you are going to take that hex file that's in your downloads and you're going to put it on style, and you are also going to take a screenshot of this code. And you're going to post a screenshot of the code on style. And that is it. So I hope this tutorial has helped you and you're able to follow along. There's going to be another video for the next tutorial as well, but that one's not going to be as extensive because I want you to learn how to do it yourself. But I hope you enjoyed this and you were able to figure out and learn how to use a microbit, and I hope that you're going to enjoy making more things, and I can't wait to see what you create.